Today we are going to be reviewing the movie Withered by Artsploitation Films. Check it out. What's up, guys? This is Kyle over here at the Horror File, coming back to you with another review by Artsploitation Films. As I stated before in a lot of my reviews and stuff, I actually really enjoy Artsploitation Films. I think they're a great company. They release a lot of really cool titles, and they actually sent me some more titles to actually to look at, to check out. One of the titles they sent me over, I actually requested because I've actually heard pretty good things about this movie. I was kind of hesitant on which ones I wanted to watch. I got about 5 of them from Artsploitation. I really wanted to check out Hidden in the Woods, but I hadn't seen very many reviews on this movie, so I wanted to throw a review up there on it. This movie is the 2012 Swedish horror movie called Wither. I don't know if you guys can see the cover there. It's a little glary. So First off the bat, I just want to say, I don't really care too much for this cover art. I mean, I'll just say that since I've already showed you the cover. I think they could have done a little bit better on the cover art. It kind of reminds me of the Cub cover art. If you guys saw my review of Cub by Artsploitation Films. Not the best cover art in the world, but we'll get into that in a little while, my thoughts. First off, this movie is directed by Sonny Laguna and Tommy Wickland. I don't really know much about them or any other films they've done, but it was a collaboration, directorial movie by them. This movie has a little bit of, not controversy, but a little bit of history around it. Like I said, this came out in 2012. The media and the people that were viewing it and people that were watching the movie were calling this Sweden's first zombie film, which in actuality they got that incorrect. It is not Sweden's first zombie film. Their first zombie film was Die Zombie Jager, Die Zombie Jager, and that was a 2005 film. Not familiar with that film at all, but did have a little bit of wrong information around it. So to kind of get in the plot of this movie, pretty much this movie starts out and there's a scene where you see a hunter or a father, his wife, and his daughter going out into the woods, and the daughter and the wife are actually going off to kind of explore and look at things in these woods. And the hunter is actually going off and he's going to hunt. It looks like he was just going to hunt and go around and shoot some deer or whatever. And they kind of part ways at the beginning. They're parked in the woods. They part ways. Then it kind of pans off after a couple hours pass by. The hunter, his name is Gunnar. He actually finds his wife eating his daughter alive. His daughter's laying on the ground. The wife is on top of the daughter, and the wife is actually eating the daughter's flesh. The daughter's still alive. It still shows the daughter alive. The hunter's kind of like he's very, Gunnar is very, scared at this point. He's like, what's going on? I don't know what the heck's going on. And he ends up shooting his wife in the head and kills her. Then it kind of pans off and it shows him burning the bodies, burning his wife and his daughter, because his daughter obviously dies from the wounds. She bleeds out. And then at that point it fades out and you see the Gunnar goes away and his family, and it focuses on Albin and Ida, which are a couple. They are planning a trip to a remote cabin in the woods, which is the same woods that the hunter was in the first scene. Pretty much, and this kind of got me off guard. I wasn't really sure exactly because it didn't really explain it. But apparently this cabin was found by his father, by Albin's father, and his father was like, "Hey, this cabin's abandoned. We can go up to this you guys can go up to this cabin, spend some time. There's no power in it, but my company works with the power company, and we can get some temporary power to it." And Albin keeps asking his dad. He's like, "Are you sure this is abandoned? Are you sure this is a good idea?" And his dad's like, "Yeah. If you have any problems, call me." It didn't really explain where they found this cabin. It didn't really explain, I don't really know. I mean, if I found a cabin in the woods, I'm not going to stay in it. I don't care the situation. This cabin was fully furnished. Apparently, it had been abandoned for 5 years, according to Albin's father. And he just said, go stay in it. We found it. You can use it. which kind of caught me off guard. I don't think that would happen very often, that somebody would just find a cabin and just it would be fully furnished and you go sleep in it. But anyway, they actually go down and they travel down to this cabin in the woods, which isn't far from where they live. It's Albin, Ida, two of Ida's friends, Ida's brother, who is one of the other main characters. He's actually a bigger main character. He's one of the bigger guy main characters other than Albin, and one of their friends. So there's 3 guys and 3 girls. So they head down to the cabin. They pull up, and they have to actually walk through a portion of the woods. And when they pull up, Gunnar is actually standing in the, off in the distance. You can actually see Gunnar standing there with his rifle, just staring at them, and they're yelling at him. They're like, "What are you looking at? What's going on? What do you want?" And he just walks off into the woods. At that point, you kind of know that, he's kind of watching them and seeing what's going to happen. So basically, what happens is they end up at this cabin. The door's locked, and this scene right here actually kind of puts the rest of the movie in motion. They end up at the cabin. The door's locked. One of the friends goes around the back and finds a window that's open and brings one of the girls. Well, these are 2 kind of off characters that you don't really know a whole lot about. Brings one of the girls and puts her into the window, and she's supposed to scare them and unlock the door. Well, she ends up, for some reason, this dumb girl ends up going down into the cellar, which there's this Evil Dead type cellar, which if you've seen Evil Dead, the first one, where there's a door in the floor, you open it up and there's steps to go down. There's one of those in this cabin, and she goes down in the cellar, and it looks like she sees something in the cellar, and it shows her a scene. It cuts to a scene where one of her eyes is rolling back in the back of her head. So you know that something's happened. She's seen something that was very disturbing or very very scary. So this happens, and then the next scene you see her. They find her. She looks fine, and slowly over the next couple of hours, she actually turns into what they call a zombie. I don't consider the bad things in this movie zombies. I consider them more of possession type. They seem more possessed to me than zombies. I mean, they do bite into flesh. They don't really seem like they eat it, because it seems like most of the scenes, it shows them biting into flesh and spitting it out. But pretty much, not to spoil anything, to kind of sum up the rest of the movie, slowly, a little bit at a time, each one of these, these friends start turning into either a zombie or possession, kind of a demon. And apparently this cabin's actually haunted by Vitra, which is actually the Swedish word for wither. And what Vitra is Vitra's actually it's actually like basically like a forest creature. Like this cabin actually has Vitra living in it, which is like a Norse mythology forest creature, which can be a demon. So they pretty much find these demons. They start turning into demons. They start going against each other. And that's pretty much the rest of the movie. And Gunnar comes out. You find Gunnar. He kind of steps into the picture and lets them know, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I think's going on. And he kind of tries to help out a little bit. Now, my thoughts on the movie before I just keep rambling on about the plot. I did enjoy this movie. I thought it was. I did like the acting in it. It is English subtitled. Very well acted. It looks very well. I think it's a very well looking movie. There's nothing special about this movie. It's another Cabin in the Woods type movie, in my opinion. It definitely has a lot of Evil Dead influences in this movie, and Cabin in the Woods influences. I mean, heavily. That's why I said a lot of these creatures, I don't feel like they're really zombies. I feel like they're more like Evil Dead possessed type creatures, because yeah, they bite into your flesh, but they're not really eating. I mean, some of them eat a little bit of it, but it seems like more like possession type, and that's kind of just a little added on feature to it. I would give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. I did enjoy this movie. I would probably revisit this movie at some point. I actually watched one of the deleted scenes that Artsploitation put on the DVD. It was an alternate ending, which really sucked. I'm glad they didn't use that ending to the movie, because it would have really I would have just gave this movie like a 4 out of 10 if that was the ending to this movie. So yeah, if you have the Artsploitation release, check out the alternate ending. It's very, like, I don't know, generic, and it's not good at all, but check it out. It's like 7 or 8 minutes. So yeah, Wither. I'd recommend checking it out. Artsploitation Films. You can go to artsploitation.com, pick this up. It's probably going to run you about $10. Well worth the $10. I mean, it's definitely a cool, cool watch if you've never seen it before. If you're into Evil Dead type movies, Cabin in the Woods type movies, recommend this movie. Check it out. But other than that, like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of Wither. And until next time, peace. See you guys later.